Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. If you're just joining us, we are in the midst of our Ask the Expert segment. Brenda Hollingsworth, partner at Auger Hollingsworth, is joining us in studio, and you can ask her any questions when it comes to personal injury. We are kind of focused on a back-to-school mode type questioning or line of questioning, but if you have a question of your own, email us ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. You can also phone the number on your screen, 613-789-6559, extension 2803. And so, Brenda, we've been presenting some scenarios for you, and you can maybe address this one for us as well. This one goes like this. Your 15-year-old is riding her bike on the sidewalk on the way to school. She does not dismount at the intersection, but simply rides through on a green light. A vehicle turning right hits her, and she suffers a concussion. People are wondering, will you have a case in this scenario?
Yeah, so we've had lots of variations of this scenario over the last 18 years. Concussion is a good outcome in this case. We've also had very bad outcomes in this scenario. And so there's a few things at play here. A lot of people believe, oh, she's riding on the sidewalk, she's at fault. She's riding through the crosswalk, not dismounted, she's at fault. And that's not really the way to look at it.
Okay.
She may have contributed to what happened, but she's not at fault.
Right.
The driver has the obligation to watch for pedestrians and cyclists. And the Highway Traffic Act actually puts what's called a reverse onus on a driver who hits a pedestrian or a cyclist. So that means they have to prove they weren't negligent.
Right.
So if you hit somebody who's going through a crosswalk on a green light, you're going to have a hard time proving you weren't negligent if you were the driver. So a lot of times parents think, oh, my daughter's going to be blamed. I don't want to go down that route. Have the consultation, because you'll probably be surprised at the obligations on drivers, and a lot of people sell themselves short. Now, there are going to be considerations. How fast was she going? If she had a concussion, did she have a helmet?
Right.
But even a helmet, you're supposed to wear a helmet. You might have contributed to your injury by not wearing a helmet, but the driver actually has to prove that if you had been wearing a helmet, you wouldn't have been injured.
Right.
You don't have to prove that you didn't have to have a helmet. They have to prove it.
Right.
And it's it's probably gonna result in a discount, especially on a settlement. You're gonna discount the settlement a little bit to take into account the helmet, if it's a head injury, not if it's a broken leg, but if it's a head injury. But you're still going to have a case.
Of course. The lack of a helmet doesn't mean that you should have gotten hit.
That's right. And but you'd be surprised at how many people say, oh, you know what, we didn't call earlier because she wasn't wearing a helmet and, maybe it was her fault. Make the call, right? Consultations with personal injury lawyers in Ontario are almost always free. At our firm, they're free. Make the call, get the information, and then decide. Don't prejudge.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's really an important thing. And, the other thing with a bike accident is there's also no-fault accident benefits that you're going to access for your daughter through your own car insurance.
Right.
And that a lot of people don't realize that they think, well, she doesn't even have a driver's license. How could she get accident benefits? But any accident involving a vehicle entitles you to accident benefits. So that will be like her physio will be covered. If she needed attendant care and, more serious injuries, there's quite a long list of benefits that are available.
Right.
So all of that should be accessed, and a personal injury lawyer can help you with that.
And how many times do you come across a driver who's not aware of reverse onus and just, puts her hands up in the air and says, well, hey, this is not on me at all?
Yeah, well, the police tend to change their minds about that fairly quickly.
Right.
We do see drivers ticketed in that situation. But having said that, we also get police officers who don't understand that and try to blame either the pedestrian or the cyclist. Oh, I want to give the cyclist a ticket. Well, go look at the Highway Traffic Act then decide. Generally, if that happens, doesn't happen very often, but if it does happen, we're typically able to eliminate that ticket. So that's another reason to give us a call.